Hello guys, glad to have you on board again today. We need to make a quick midweek update because there are interesting things happening on the charts. So we'll have a look at this afterwards. First, a quick shot at the sentiment as we are seriously extreme fear territory in Wall Street. We'll see all about that, but of course we're still sitting on supportive areas. So are they willing to break down? We'll see all about that. We're definitely in dangerous territory. As usual, retail traders are getting to buy a market that goes down. So it is not yet at extreme kinds of levels, but I still tend to believe that there are more downside potentials in Wall Street than upside ones. When it comes to cryptos, we're still oscillating across the expected areas we've talked about, meaning that we have rejected 50 in terms of sentiment, but we're still holding and oscillating across 20. So we're kind of oscillating between neutral and fear until we find some strength to get the hell out of it. I'm still waiting for the appropriate time in which these two will finally decorrelate, meaning that these guys will go positive when these ones will remain in neutral stance, in fear stance. I still expect, following from the weekly updates, that these decorrelation patterns will take place sooner rather than later. This is my feeling. Of course, I'm going to have to follow this assumption through charts. I don't trade what I think, I trade what I see, and it's even better when what I see is what I think. I've also wanted to notify that ETH option trading yesterday has been significant, absolutely big amount of money spread around the $3,000 calls, very specifically targeted, as they are also selling puts. So they're selling the 2,500 puts and buying the calls. This is exactly the opposite of what we've seen a few days ago, which means the same old guys are arbitraging the market one way or the other. They've been targeting 2,500, I told you about it, and now they're targeting 3,000, so we'll see all about that. But this is the same old story. I believe that these guys are arbitraging in the range as the market doesn't know where to go. Okay, then if we have a look at our good old assets, yesterday has been a very dangerous day for gold. We've broken through significant levels and we do have some 4-hour volatility alerts. So not a good sign for me. It is eventually going to be a tip in top, meaning that the market's just gone stupidly parabolic to let the DOMs go into the crazy, oh boy, we're never going to end, these kinds of things. Eventually, though, in that perspective, we could make all-time highs on gold, which would open the door to $3,000 per ounce or whatever that is. Of course, yesterday's headlines have been as crazily stupid as they intended them to be. So we'll see all about that. The market is going crazy, shitty, irrational. We'll see if we want to print historical prices on gold, but printing them doesn't necessarily mean that value is shifting above. In terms of signals, we're getting a bit irrational. We're very far away from the resistant context. So either that is another excess, kind of a one-to-one excess ratio, basically a classical kind of things that I know very much about. So in that perspective, well, I definitely think that's it. Though in that perspective, I'm settling for a kind of a big range to settle between 2060 and 1900. And we're probably gonna dumb trade in there for extended periods of times. This is the big resistance we were into, so hard to say where the resistance and supports will be, though I'm taking the last area of supports and the current resistance has to be proven, because right now this definitely looks like a trend, though we'll see if this really is a trend. If it's not, then of course back to range. We'll see all about that, but it's something to be monitoring. Remember that this is one of my 3 major pillars, ones that I look at. So if this one goes stupid, of course I'll be needing to update. But of course yesterday we've came close to stupidity, and I think that we're going to rapidly reverse out of it. These markets definitely don't mean to be stupid. Yesterday I've been profit taking on all of my metals trade. Very nice gains all across the boards. We'll see if that means the market is toppish. I still have portions of that trades opens, but just in silver and gold. All of the other metals have been fully taken off. We'll see all about that in the next weekly update. When it comes to Apple has been pulling right back to the expectable supports. We'll see how it is, but it is still a very dangerous area to deal with. We have absolutely no signs of supports. The worst is that we're actually having early signs of breakdowns, which is not a good signal. So we'll see all about that. Either that is just a bottom in here to just retesting the other day's low points, which is possible. But if we ever go to 152, that means we're breaking cycles and we're going to have to double down all of this previous range, which means targets will be around 150 or 140 bucks, which is very, very, very dangerous. If we get out there, meaning that we're getting into some more unpredictable territories. But once again, the moving averages are still bullish, so I still tend to believe that ranging in here until we neutralize them before going down seems like a much more likely probability. Though we'll see all about that. Today is going to be an interesting session for Apple, specifically if gold is skyrocketing to all-time highs. We'll see all about that. But as long as all the planets do not align, don't be stupid. When it comes to ETH, nice rebound. Of course, everyone was going crazy the other day, like, 2500, we're gonna go down. No, same old shit. Another volatility alert telling you, boy, step down for a second. Don't try to think. It's dumb. And don't make it overcomplicated. Switch to Bollinger Band territory and understand that the market is only going to either there, or there. That's the only thing the market is willing to do now. So as you look at the current price positioning, the market is hesitating in between going there, and we're definitely sitting halfway through both of these areas. So is it a good price for ETH now to be at 2800? Yes, it is. Do we know where to go next? I don't know shit. It's really a 50-50 gamble, and I'm letting the dumbs taking these trades. We've seen on the option market that the traders, the pros, they are targeting 3,000 with their calls and they're selling the puts of 2,500. So leading me to believe that the market wants to go to this area rather than this one. But of course, that's just yesterday's call options trading, and we'll see what it is all about today. So I'm really looking forward to this. I don't see any signs of irrational trading now, but also be aware that if we were to go out there with this kind of pattern, meaning that we've built a triangle, look at the cycles, okay, this is how you can confirm that the structures has occurred, 2 fucking volatility alerts throughout this system, meaning that if we ever get out of it to the upside, well, we're going to get there, but I don't think this is going to be a reverse. I think we're going to keep pushing, and this is where we could get the short squeeze, breaking above the moving average of this big fucking mature range. So if we get through this, and if we ever turn the calls that are expiring on the 25th, if we are getting these calls in the money, okay, meaning that they turn positive, that means the guys will have some shitty amount of cash to do something with. And if they're starting to short the puts, then that is going to be a hell of a volatility arbitrage. And I definitely know that these guys are planning for this. Like I said, this is just my intuition as a professional trader. I'm going to look for real world data, okay? So depending on what the call and put tradings will be by tomorrow, and specifically if we ever reach out to 3,000 and above, I'll definitely pay a lot of attention to this. If I see the same old call guys now getting to sell calls, then I know that they plan on just reducing volatility. If instead they're turning calls in the money and getting to short sell puts, or sell puts, then in that perspective I know they're willing to short squeeze the prices. Though we'll see all about that, but like I said, cautiously trading. There is no liquidity in here, so short squeeze is pending. It's just a matter of when rather than if. Until then, we have the same old shitty volatility alerts, so brace yourselves. Don't make stupid gambles. Let the smart money guys gamble. Let them do the job. Just once again, step down and understand that anything that happens in the short run is none of your business. It's way too complicated to navigate and it requires professional skills. So just step down for a bit. Trade on higher time frames. This is what that all means. And we have that volatility alert on gold as well, so signaling that today is going to be another of those fucking tricky sessions to navigate. Take a step back. Look at the show by the end of the day, but don't suddenly get to trade intraday session, please. Way too many alerts for you to tell you that this can be very much stupid. So don't be there to be someone else's dump. Okay? Bye guys.